Hey guys, it's Brianna Maddox here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my May, kind of little late April book haul. But before I start that, I want to talk about what's currently going on in the world. I don't know when I'm going to have this video up, but by now you probably know what is going on in the world. There's a lot of things that need to change and things that should have been changed a long time ago, but I'm making my mission to do as much as I can to change what is going on in this world. But I am going to leave a bunch of resources in the comments for you guys to take the time to at least start, learning about what's going on in the world, but this is nowhere near enough to make a change in the world. But I am trying to educate myself, learn as much as I possibly can, signing petitions, donating, having those conversations with my family and everybody that I'm talking to, but things need to change and they should have changed a long time ago. So I will leave some resources as kind of like a stepping stone to kind of get a start as to where to go. Hopefully by now you've already done that. I have a few books that I have collected that I am so excited to talk to you guys about today. One of the very first books that I got was Wicked by Jennifer Armentrout. This is a exclusive edition from Hello Lovely Box, which is an awesome subscription service. They've kind of more leaned towards like clothing and stuff, which is so much fun, but this is a kind of like a new adult. I think it's labeled paranormal. I read Wicked back when it came out. I don't even know at this point what year it came out. I absolutely loved it. At the time, book 2 wasn't out yet in the world, but I have yet to continue. But this series is so good. Next up, I placed an order with a independent bookstore in California. Most of you guys, if you're a romance reader, you've heard about it, but I really wanted to support a lot of these local bookstores that have been, personally affected by quarantine and everything. So I wanted to order some books, and I specifically chose books that I've read and I've absolutely loved, like they are favorite books. But I ordered 3 books from The Ripped Bodice. The first book is Bad Habit by Charlie Rose. This is one of my all-time favorite books. I read it earlier this year, I think back in, not that long ago, I think in March or February, somewhere around there, maybe April, and this was my first time reading her book, and definitely not my last. This was so good. It's a best friend's sister kind of romance, so absolutely loved it. Next up, I got one of my favorite books that I read at the beginning of the year, and it is Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. This is an age gap romance and a forbidden romance. This book is so good. I'm so glad I finally read it. I loved it. I will definitely reread it. I absolutely loved this book so much. Lastly, I got American Prince by Sierra Simone. This is actually book 2 in the new Camelot series. I read the series, I think towards the, honestly I can't remember when I read it, but this is a menage series, and it also involves like politics and stuff, which is something that I don't typically like to read, but this series is so good, and this was the only one that I was missing, so now I have the whole trilogy and I loved it so much. So next up, I was sent a copy of Kelly Elliott's newest release, Lucky in Love. This is part of the Southern Bride series. Honestly, I can't remember what book number this is. There's already a couple. Oh, it's actually book 4. I love Kelly Elliott. She's one of my all-time favorite authors. I highly recommend her. She writes a lot of like Southern romances and a lot of small town romances, so those are your jam. Highly recommend her books. Next up, I have a pre-order, which I haven't talked about yet because I think I'm going to put this up before I do my wrap-up, but that is a pre-order of The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. This is a Hunger Games prequel, so I'm going to talk about it in my wrap-up, but this actually follows President Snow, which I did not make the connection when I read the book. But I really love this book. Again, I'll talk about it in my wrap-up, but I pre-ordered a copy of this book and absolutely loved it. If you do want to read this book, I highly recommend that you go in basically completely blind. I wanted to read this book before a lot of the buzz and reviews and stuff came out, so I made sure I read it in time. Alright, so my last two books, I'm gonna go kind of quickly because my camera battery is about to die. But in Texas, they're slowly starting to open up businesses again, so I made a quick stop to Half Price Books and I came home with two books. So I found a copy of Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. This is book 2 in the Red Queen series. It's a YA fantasy series, and again, I'll talk more about it in my wrap up for the month of May, but I love this series. And then lastly, I got Finale by Stephanie Garber. This is book 3 in the Carvel series, and I just finished book 2 as of filming today, so this is super exciting. Cannot wait to finish this series. It's so much fun. So yeah, those are all the books that I've collected recently. Let me know if you've read some of these books, what you guys think of them. But yeah, so I'm gonna quickly go because my camera battery is about to die. But I'll see you guys in my next video. I'll see you guys later. Bye guys.